Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Stock Market Today. It's Coram and Ken Shreve here with a breakdown of the action in today's session, 10/10, Thursday, October 10th, where we saw stocks dip after inflation data with small caps lagging. But overall, we're still in an uptrend. Ken, tell us more.
We are definitely still in an uptrend. I think stocks had a chance to go down today, but they kind of rallied into the close again, and really a quiet, fairly normal session. So I've got three healthcare stocks in the medical sector to talk about today. First is going to be DaVita, DVA, and then a couple of biotechs. One with really nice revenue growth, Alnylam, ALNY, and the other is very profitable with great top line growth as well, United Therapeutics, UTHR.
Okay, a closer look at the medical sector today. I like it. We will do that. But first, let's take a look at the major indexes. The NASDAQ closing just fractionally lower on the day. As you mentioned, Ken, coming back intraday after a down open to close essentially flat on the session. The S&P 500 today down about 0.2%, but all in all, still looking good for the week, especially with 2 days of strong gains, Tuesday and Wednesday. Then we had the Dow down 0.1% on the session, also erasing its intraday losses by quite a bit. The laggard here today, small caps with the Russell 2000 down 0.6% by the end of the day. But as you can see here too, off of intraday lows.
Yes, Russell 2000 kind of came down close to its 200-day, its 50-day moving average, and rising interest rates have been weighing on small caps here. This is definitely the laggard index at this point. I was just taking a look at the 10-year Treasury yield. It ended flat today, right around 4.07%. It did trade initially higher after we got that hotter than expected CPI data, but small caps are lagging right now, but they're holding support here. So they're I think they still have a potential to do well. They're just going to need interest rates to start to back up a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's take a look at the leading index, Ken, the S&P 500, your assessment.
Yeah, breadth today on the NYSE was slightly negative. Really not too bad. Less than 2-to-1 negative, but again, just an index holding up near all-time highs here. Really did a good job of holding on to yesterday's big gain. Not much volume on the NYSE today. Pretty light. So to see it kind of hold inside of yesterday's range, still near highs here. Still a lot to like about this uptrend.
Okay, and what about for the NASDAQ?
NASDAQ looks great. We've been talking, is it really going to be able to break out with conviction over this recent high of 18,327? It's holding, right there. It hasn't fully broken out yet, but I think overall the technical picture looks good. The concern I have with the NASDAQ is just that the breadth has just kind of been weakening since the middle of last month. I think that's GMIAB. There you go. Yeah, right on the market surge chart there, and you can see that that breadth really started trending lower on the NASDAQ starting the middle of last month thereabouts. So surprising to see the NASDAQ holding so strong when you have breadth weakening. But again, less than 2-to-1 negative today, not too bad. So overall, NASDAQ's still in a good technical setup, and really seeing a lot of leadership in the NASDAQ well beyond, the large cap tech. Lots of stocks, participating, even though that breadth, little suspect.
Okay, well, let's also take a look at USO. We've been closely following the price of oil, and another spike here today. Can USO up 3.3% with some volatility as of late.
Yeah, really huge move off lows, back above all the moving averages. You had two days of pretty good weakness on Tuesday and Wednesday, but then a rebound of 3 to 4% for the front end contract today. So still have the Mideast situation going on with Israel and Iran and Hezbollah. So that's kind of giving a floor for oil prices here, but this is not going to help much in the fight against inflation if oil prices continue to rally like they're doing. So I think overall the market is holding up quite well, even though we're getting this big jump in oil prices recently.
Okay, well, let's take a closer look at three stocks in the medical sector as promised. Here's a look at DaVita in the outpatient home care group DVA, bouncing off of its 50-day line this week.
Yeah, this is a company with a great track record of earnings. Almost not a safe haven stock, but just the operator of kidney dialysis centers. They continue to see strong demand for their services, and this is a stock that yeah, I'm glad that we're looking at the weekly chart here because this is a very orderly pullback here down to the 10-week moving average. You can see it's on pace for its third straight weekly decline here, but see how the stock is up near its high for the week and holding support here. So DaVita looks very good here. Just one of many stocks in the market that have broken out, coming down to their 10-week moving average for the first time and finding support. So DaVita looks good in the healthcare sector here.
It sure does, and this is the stock that's been outperforming the S&P 500 for about a year, it looks like, Ken. And I like the volume profile here too. A lot of blue volume spikes on the weekly chart as it's made its run outperforming the S&P.
Yeah, you can see that big breakout so a few weeks ago in heavy volume. Yeah, a little further, and then a little further past that, a kind of an alternate breakout to the right. Yeah, there, that blue week right there.
Got it.
So yeah, and then so you had good volume on that sort of secondary breakout, and then over the past 3 weeks, this week included, it's been kind of drifting lower in very light volume. So that volume profile is very good as well. Not only signs of accumulation here, but just kind of a low volume pullback as it tests support. That's really exactly what you want to see.
It is, and I love buying stocks on pullbacks, so my ears are perked. All right, let's go to ALNY. This is Alnylam Pharmaceuticals in the biotech space. Ken, it's been coiling up here, and the moving averages also tightening as well. Now clearing a trend line within this space.
This is a biotech that is not profitable yet, but let's take a look at the top line growth in recent quarters because they do have some drugs that have received FDA approval, and you can see that big gap up in the chart several weeks ago. That's when their main marketed drug showed efficacy when treating a rare heart disease. It really lowered the cardiovascular risk. This is a drug that already is approved to treat a form of neuropathy, which is basically nerve damage. So there's most likely going to be an expanded use for this drug. That was the reason why the stock gapped up so powerfully, and it's been holding gains. And not only holding gains, but it's still been trending higher, finding support at the 10-week moving average. Earnings are coming up in a couple of weeks, but a nice setup headed into earnings. And you can see, I know you highlighted the top line growth here. They're selling a lot of product, and just a really solid name in the biotech space here and a good technical setup.
hmm And I think this goes to show when you do get that explosive gap up, Ken, put it on your watch list. And then from there, perhaps some buying opportunities will emerge. And, earnings, perhaps an opportunity for some traders in its last report in late July, early August. But that was tricky. Now we have the first base, the first full on base since that explosive move this summer. So,
Yeah, and the
good to
move
keep an eye out for those bases.
exactly, and the move today, yeah, actually had a little breakout over a trend line today, so I could see why some people might have wanted to take a nibble here. It hasn't fully broken out yet, but a really strong stock here. Great top line growth, like I said, in recent quarters, and it looks like in Q2 they actually did post an adjusted profit. So the losses are expected to continue, but outstanding fund ownership here, fund sponsorship is solid. So definitely one of the better looking names in the biotech group here.
Great. Okay, and to round things out, let's check in on UTHR. This is United Therapeutics, another biotech stock. It has yet to clear a trend line within the base, but one could imagine it doing so with the way it's setting up.
Yeah, this is very profitable. You look at the earnings block in the left here on the daily chart. You can see just a really steady track record of earnings growth. Estimates look pretty good. You've got the top line growth. Their main drug is Remodulin. That's used to treat pulmonary arterial hypertension, basically high blood pressure in the arteries of your lungs. So that's their main area of focus. And kind of a similar setup here, just kind of in a nice strong uptrend, finding support at the 50-day moving average here. Another high quality name in the biotech group. You've got earnings, you've got revenue. Again, really solid fund sponsorship as well, in a good setup here.
Okay. Well, we will keep an eye on this as well. So, with the focus here today on the medical sector, Ken, what is your sense of what we're seeing out there in terms of market leadership? I know specifically when it comes to the NASDAQ, perhaps weakening breadth a concern. But overall, where are you seeing the pockets of strength? Clearly, some names in the medical sector, but does it feel like it's a stock pickers market out there with pockets of strength throughout the market?
Yeah, I mean the home builders continue to look good. I mean we're still watching a name like Pulte Group, PHM, and you can see here they've come under a little bit of pressure here, but really a normal pullback so far, right down to the 21-day moving average. So the home builders are looking pretty good. XLU, some of the utilities they sold off pretty good yesterday. So we'll see if utilities are going to eventually firm up at the 50-day moving average here. Boy, your cruise line operators, good day for those yesterday after Citigroup made positive comments on Carnival and also Norwegian and CLH. So you've really seen leadership broaden out nicely. Nvidia among the Magnificent Seven, still looking good, has really come back into rally mode, and even ServiceNow, NOW, in the enterprise software group, back up near highs here. So there are some there are still some compelling growth stories in technology, but listen, even though breadth might be weakening a little bit on the NASDAQ, it doesn't mean there's still a lot of tech stocks participating in a lot of different groups here.
That there are. All right. Well, thank you so much, Ken. And thanks everyone for tuning in. That is it from us for today, but we'll be back with more tomorrow morning on IBD Live. And we hope you join us, investors.com/IBD Live, for all those details. We're going to be joined by a special guest, Alex Marenko, former portfolio manager at William O'Neill and Company. So it'll be great to get his thoughts on the market action and stocks and ETFs he is interested in right now. So make sure you tune in, investors.com/IBD Live, for all the details on that starting tomorrow morning, 10 minutes before the opening bell. We will see you there. And then we'll also see you right back here tomorrow after the close to wrap up the week.